Thanks for tuning in. We've got something serious to discuss today. Something that I've watched slowly take over the MMA community and then all of a sudden start spreading like rapid fire. And what is it? It's a sickness, alright? And it's taking over the MMA community from the bottom all the way up to the top. And I haven't seen anything like it in a long time, and it's worrying, alright? And when I tell you what it is, at first you go, oh, it's not that bad, Mac, it's not that bad. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but you wait. You just wait till I show you some examples of what I'm talking about, and then you'll see. And if you still don't agree with me, that's fine, but maybe you already caught part of the fucking sickness. So let's get into it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fucking ridiculous glazing of Ilia Topuria from some of the biggest names in the community. And look, I ain't saying giving this man praise is wrong. I don't dislike Topuria. I fucking think he's a very good fighter. He's a champ for a reason. He beat some great competition. He's a fucking very good fighter. But the absolute glazing I'm seeing from these people is, man, it's almost on McGregor levels. But, you know, it's fucking sickening. So you're gonna say, well, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? What's glazing? Who's glazing him? And I'm about to show you. Alright, so look at this. First off, we've got how Ilia Topuria evolved in the best boxing MMA. Not necessarily from the biggest channel, but it's got some good fucking views on it, you know. 353,000 views. Next up, we've got top 5 best boxers in the UFC. Ilia Topuria, right at the top of the list. Look, then down below from fucking Tony Tough Knuckles, whoever the fuck that is. List should be Ilia at the top. Alejandro Topuria. Okay, this guy's a fucking retard. Just ignore that. Nobody who knows anything about boxing would have Nate Diaz anywhere on a top 5 list. He wouldn't even be in a top fucking 50 list in the UFC, let's be fucking real. The Yarn one, I can dig the Yarn and Poirier though. But anyway, let's move on from that fucking idiot. Next up we have the Weasel, one of the biggest names in the MMA YouTube space. Featherweight is the best striker in the UFC history overall. Look, I wouldn't disagree with that. Ilia Topuria, number 1. Number fucking 1. And it's not even just saying he's the best boxer. He's saying the best striker essentially in the UFC history. He's saying featherweight has the best strikers in the UFC history, and he's saying that Ilia is the best of them. Ilia doesn't know how to throw a fucking kick other than a fucking low kick or a leg kick. Tell me one time he's even thrown a body kick. Are you fucking kidding me? When has he thrown an elbow? He barely throws uppercuts. Come on, man. Like, I like the Weasel. I've been a fan of his for a long time, watching his shit, but fucking get off his dick, brother. What the fuck? The best striker in UFC history? I don't blame him. This man also thought fucking Israel Adesanya was the best striker in UFC history, and that got fucking exposed multiple times, and he was always coping about it too. But, let's move on. Surely you haven't got any more examples, Mac. Surely not. No, well, let's see. Oh, look at this. The best boxer in MMA history, Ilia Topuria, who was also ranked on Lucas Tracy's top 10 most skilled MMA fighters in history. And if I remember correctly, Ilia was ranked number fucking 4. Number 4 all time on the most skilled fighters in UFC history. Ilia Topuria has 8 UFC fights with 1 title defense. And these motherfuckers are putting him in the greatest of all time conversation. Oh my god, it's fucking... Oh, I don't get it. Don't get me wrong, like, as they say, you're as good as your last fight. And his last fight, his last 2 fights, have been fucking impressive. Ilia's taken out the 2 greatest featherweights of all time, arguably, in Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski. And look, the way he beat him was impressive. You know, he KO'd Volk, who was coming off a KO loss to Islam Makhachev, so whatever, it was a relatively short turnaround as well. But then he did what no one's been able to do. He KO'd Max Holloway, and it was fucking brutal. And look, he's looking good. It's hard to see who is going to beat Ilia Topuria at 145, but he's new on the block. He's been the hunter. Now he's the hunted. He's had time. He's been watching the champions, watching these guys for a long time. He's been able to, you know, watch them versus different styles, different opponents, pick apart certain things in their game where he may be able to take an advantage, and also, you know, he's got a different style to what they've fought. He's been able to implement his own things, and he's obviously got ridiculous power as well. But come on, man. Look at these guys. Mr. fucking Lucas Tracy. Big meaty hooks, man. You just sent him to Peaches and Creamsville. Like, come on, Lucas. You've been watching MMA for a long time. You're not a casual. Generally, most of your takes, most of them, I agree with. Some of them are fucking ridiculous. But come on, man. Get off this dude's dick. The only guy I haven't seen give fucking Topuria a top, basically, is MMA Guru and... Trying to think, man. Like, who else? Basically everyone. I mean, I'm sure there's others that haven't, but just right now, off the top of my head, are the main ones. Everyone else is fucking sucking this man off, licking his ass for him, all over fucking the media, all over Twitter, all over fucking Spain and Georgia, and fucking all the UFC shills, Bisping and DC and all them, but it's just, it's fucking sickening. And I'm going to show you, not only am I going to just dispute that he's the best boxer, the best striker, one of the best ever, I'm going to show you why. Okay, I can't put footage up because the UFC will delete it because they're fucking bitches, but, I'll put some photos up, and now, I understand photos don't fucking, snapshots, they don't tell the full story, they just show, weak moments in time, weaknesses, and look, everyone gets hit, and I get it, whatever. I'm going to do my best to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to explain, why I think they're weaknesses, why I think Topuria is not the best, and look, let's get into it. Let's fucking move on. Right here. Okay, this is Topuria's fight with Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell, he's a good fighter. He deserves to be in the top 10, definitely top 15, He's sort of sitting between the top 10 and top 5. He's a good fighter. He's not great. Mainly relies on his grappling, though his striking's not too bad either. But it's it's nothing special. It's nothing right home. You don't watch Bryce Mitchell's fucking strike and go, oh my god, man, this guy's an animal. He's a marauder. You're never gonna hear Joe Rogan say that about Bryce Mitchell. I say he's crafty on the feet, man. He's underrated. You can't sleep on this guy. But you're not gonna hear much more than that. Like, Bryce Mitchell, he can throw some decent kicks. He's got a bit of variation in him. He doesn't have much power, but he can land some shit on your jab here and there. Nice counters. He's alright. But he's never gonna be in anyone's conversation as a great striker in defense, in offense, in any way. Not in the UFC. Not today. Maybe back in 2007, but not today. And look, here's just an example of him fucking seeing Topuria going for what consists of 80% of his shots, which are looping punches. Usually hooks or overhands. He loves his fucking big meaty hooks, man. He'll load up on him and just throw, boom, left, right, left, right. He'll fucking get a combo of 4 of them going, rip into your body or something, or body and head. He loves his fucking hooks. He loves his overhands as well. He will throw straights occasionally, and in his most recent fight against MACK, he threw a bit more than usual, but they're not his usual repertoire. He doesn't throw straights a lot. He doesn't throw uppercuts a lot. He fucking barely ever throws kicks. When he does, it's a leg kick, and that's about it. So about 80% of his strikes are just hooks. Hooks and looping punches. And Bryce Mitchell, of all people, seen it coming, and not only did he duck the big fucking telegraph left hook, he made Topuria fucking fall over and look like a fucking idiot. Come on, man. Like, I know it's just one moment, but you don't see fucking Poda Yan or Peter Yan or Sean O'Malley, JDM doing shit like that. You see doing shit like that? Ronda Rousey. And obviously he's much better than Ronda Rousey, but you know what I mean? The best boxer in UFC history, you don't see doing that sort of shit, man. Like, you don't even see guys like who aren't being called the best boxer in UFC history or even in the list doing that shit. I don't think I've even seen Bryce Mitchell do that shit. So look, it's one moment, but I'm going to show you some more. Let's move on to another one. Now, it's one shot. I'm going to show you some more. This is just a fucking bit of a hole in Ilia's defense, in my opinion. He's guard, he holds it up high and wide, and his defense is pretty good overall. I believe when I looked at the stats out of the guys I'm going to list later on, there's like 6 of them, and I'll tell you who they are later on in the video, but he was ranked, I think, 2nd overall for defense and strikes. So, his defense is good, but it's mainly due to his distance management and his ability to duck and weave and dodge your strikes. It's not necessarily his guard. His guard's okay too, but look, it's open down the middle to jabs. If you have a quick jab, if you don't load up on your jab, you can pop it down the middle. You can hit this man. You can land on it. It's definitely an exploitable weakness on his game. Bryce does it multiple times. I'm going to show you later on. Other fighters have been able to do it. It's a jab's a jab. It's not going to take you out in one punch more than likely, but they build up over time. We've seen people do it time and time again. Kamaru Usman, GSP, fucking Sean O'Malley, just pick people apart with these jabs. Even fucking Sean Strickland in the first fight with DDP, then that jab fucking lit up the orbital on DDP, puffed it up. Robert Whittaker against Yoel Romero fucking broke his orbital with an eye socket with a stiff jab. Jabs can do damage, and they will do damage. And it's actually a lot of good boxers and strikers use the jab a lot, which is something Ilia rarely throws. He will put it out there every now and then, and it's not a bad jab, but it's something he rarely uses, and it's something he has a weakness for in his style. So look, moving on, we'll move on to the next one. Again, look at this. A jab. Fucking look straight there. Look, a nice long jab. He doesn't even have his guard up. Boom. Caught him right on the chin. Bryce Mitchell, again. Not the best striker in the UFC. But hey, look, it's just a couple moments, and boom. On to my next point. He has a weakness to head kicks. I'm going to show you multiple examples of this, and I'm going to talk about a potential future opponent people have been calling for as well, and why it's a fucking stupid idea. This is early in the first round against Jai Herbert, and he went for his typical fucking big looping punches. Jai Herbert saw it, took his opportunity, went for a head kick. You're like, oh, it's just one example, it's a little weakness. Yeah, you could say that, if there wasn't the other examples I'm going to show you. But also, you got to remember, look, think about Volkanovski, think about Max Holloway, think about Jose Aldo. When they were coming up through the ranks, when they were building their way up, you never seen shit like this happening to them. And of course they're different fighters, and it doesn't mean that Topuria is not going to be as good as them in any way, but people are figuring this man out earlier than they did these other guys. And if they're doing it this early in his career, against, he's coming in against the older generation, or the current generation, not really his generation of guys, his generation and the younger generation are going to figure him out fucking real quick. Ilia, he's very skilled overall. He's grappling, he's striking, overall it is very high level. It's why he's a champion. His grappling might be better than his striking. We haven't seen enough of it yet to say, but it's pretty good, and he mixed it in there with Max very well. But he's got some weaknesses, some exploitable weaknesses, and all it's going to take is a bad style matchup for him. And maybe the worst style matchup for him isn't even at 145. Maybe he does take out all these guys at 145. But we have to consider the weaknesses, and I'm going to, you got to remember, this is a guy they're calling the greatest featherweight of all time already, the greatest striker in fucking UFC history, the best boxer of all time. You don't see them getting caught like this. You just don't. So look, there's that head kick. He ended up surviving this, which, fucking props to him. Ended up KOing Herbert like he does to just about everyone. So look, it's impressive. He's got ridiculous power, he's skilled, and in the end this didn't matter. But this sort of shit's gonna get to him one day. Moving on. That's just him fucking dropping from the kick. So look, his chin's not impenetrable. Obviously it's a head kick, it's fucking powerful. Not many people can just eat a head kick. But Marvin Vettori, Yoel Romero, fucking freaks. But he recovers well. He recovers fast. Anyway, look, moving on. Next up, again, Alexander Volkanovski. Fucking early in the first round, lands a head kick. Not the same sort of power that Herbert had. But once again, boom, straight in there. Sees a weakness. He gets a couple of these in the fight. Topuria eats them. Credit to him. This is the cleanest one probably of the fight as well that Volkanovski lands. But you can just see he's open to them all fight, man. All fight. And I just don't think, part of boxing is defense as well. You can't say this guy's the best boxer just because he throws fucking 6 shots. If his defense, and I know it's defending against kicks, but he's also defending against jabs. If the sport of boxing, or the art of boxing, whatever you want to call it, He's been able to hit and not get hit. This man, that just ain't him. It's also about things like skill set. How many weapons do you have on your feet? How accurate are you? If you look at the accuracy on this man, out of the 5 or 6 people I'm going to name later on, he had the lowest. It was like 48%. The rest of these guys are 50% and above. A lot of them were in the 60% of their significant strike accuracy. This guy doesn't throw often either. He doesn't output much. And then he doesn't land that much either. Also, he's, as you said, his defense, although overall pretty good, that includes leg kicks, body kicks, all sorts of strikes. I think you'll find against jabs and striking overall, it's not that great. But even if it is by the numbers good, there's still clear holes in it that people are gonna, much smarter people than I, much better fighters than I, fucking people who know way more about the sport are gonna be able to exploit. If I can pick this shit up, you guarantee that other fighters, coaches, teams are picking this shit up. So yeah, we're on to that. On to the next one. Let's see what we got. Look at this. Fucking straight down the middle again. Volk with a straight left down the middle. Fucking intercepts him as he's coming in. Volk's got long arms for the division. He's a short dude but long arms. Catches him. So once again, a long fighter, longer than him. Straight down the middle. Boom. Catches him. Hurt him. Didn't have the... Well, you know. Not hurt him, but put him on notice. Didn't have the power to knock him out, but... You know, there's another example of what I'm talking about. And again, look, nothing much to it. A jab, boom. Straight down the middle. Flicked out there, landed. Once again, another jab. Bang. And what do we got here? Another jab. And look, there was many examples of this, especially against Volk. And there's nothing wrong with getting caught by that. Volk is a fucking phenomenal fighter. He is truly one of the greatest of all time when it comes to skill set, I believe. Volkanovski. He's got skills everywhere. Grappling, striking. Like, he's striking. He's got just about every tool in the fucking book to throw at you. That's a great striker. He's got his defense has been exploited once or twice, but it's far less obvious the exploitable paths in his defense, and they're far less exploitable as well. You know, like the knees, obviously from Max. Max found those work, and then some uppercuts and shit. Head kick from Islam Makhachev, but there's some other things that go into that as well. But anyway, you got to remember as well in this fight, and in general in the fights of Topuria, when you're talking about the best boxer, right, the best striker, this guy, it's not his boxing, it's not his skills necessarily that win him the fights. He has skills, and they definitely help him, but it's his power. In a lot of the fights, he was arguably losing, or is very competitive, and then he just lands a powerful shot, or he mixes in his grappling as well, and then he lands powerful shots with his grappling mixed in, gets him thinking about the takedown. Like against Volkanovski was piecing him up. He clearly won round one. I don't think there's any debating that. I've seen some people, I don't know how the fuck they are, but debating that he won round one. But it was clear as day. I literally rewatched a fight today. Go rewatch it again. No commentary, just rewatch it. Volk clearly won. Now, sure, he didn't do that much damage to him, but he clearly won the round. Second round, Volk's looking real good. Volk's fucking beating him. He's starting to take over. Volk is starting to take that fight over. But, you know, Topuria, he's staying calm, which you've got to give credit to him for. He's got faith in his power, faith in his ability to be able to land. And eventually he does. And he's got too much power for Volk. And he hits him with a nice left hook that Volk doesn't see coming, if I remember correctly. And that is skill. And they're the punches that usually get you. Even if you got power, if you can land it when they don't see it coming, that's what gets you. What do you have to do to get that? He had to pressure Volk. He had to get lucky. Not get lucky, but he had to get him up against the fence and corner him and hit him with a nice shot. A very good shot. But before that, he was about to go 2-0 down. Alright? If he didn't get that KO, you know, if Volk had a Ngannou chin, right? Or a Vettori chin, or Volk had fucking Topuria's power, mate, I think Topuria's down. And so, what am I saying? He's relying on his attributes, his X factors. He's not relying on boxing or striking skill, although those help him, and though he has those, he is very good at those. He's relying on his X factors. Like, if you want to say he's the best boxer in the UFC, right? Because he's KOing these dudes, KOing fucking Max Holloway and Volkanovski and everyone. Well, he didn't KO fucking Josh Emmett, did he? Josh Emmett, fucking, because he had a chin. Now, don't get me wrong, he did outbox Josh Emmett, which is impressive. He also was outboxing Max Holloway. But if you go off that metric, right, you got power and he's KOing these dudes to say he's the best boxer. Well, then, by the same standards, you have to say Francis Ngannou is the best boxer we've ever seen in the UFC, which just isn't fucking true. He's KOing everyone. And, he fucking bum rushed Jairzinho Rosenstrike like he had his fucking lunch money. Like, he ran at him, he's throwing his hands for like around his hips and fucking swinging and missing, and he landed one. Like, Ngannou's got some nice striking too every now and then, but no doubt he's saying he's the best boxer you've ever seen or the best striker. What you're saying is the man's got incredible fucking power, incredible chin, and he's a freak. Now, Topuria is more skilled than Ngannou, no doubt. Way more, like, more technical and more skilled. But same sort of thing. He relies on skill way more than Ngannou. Like, he has way more skill, and skill's partly why he wins. But this man's not out there doing a Volkanovski or a Max Holloway or an Islam Makhachev where he's picking you apart, or a JDM. It's just not the same, man. And I'm not saying, hell, if you say he's one of the best boxers in the UFC, I wouldn't necessarily disagree, Put him somewhere in the top 10, maybe the end of the top 5, whatever. But to say this man's the best boxer, the best fucking fighter in UFC history, the best striker in UFC history, is just fucking ridiculous. And it's a disgrace to all the other fighters who should be on that list. And some of those fighters are, let's just fucking get straight into it. Boom, right here on the list. Jack Della Maddalena, JDM, Peter Yan, fucking Sean O'Malley, Alexander Volkanovski, Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier, just to name a few. And if you don't believe me, go watch these guys. I can't put the footage up in the background, but go watch them. Go watch their fucking fights and tell me who has the most limited style of all these fighters. It's going to be Topuria. All these guys throw uppercuts, they throw more kicks, they throw fucking... If we're just talking about boxing, they throw more punches. They've got more variation to them. It's not just fucking hook, overhand. It's just... They're going to make this guy look silly. Alright? And if you want this guy going up against fucking Islam Makhachev, he's going to get caught. He's going to get head kicked. He's going to get countered. He's going to get pieced up. Look, that's all I got for now. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Part of the reason I started this channel was to have conversations with other people about MMA, because I fucking love it. If you disagree with me, I want to hear from you. Now, also, don't forget to wipe fucking Ilia Topuria's kids off your face before you do. Get rid of that glaze. But I want to hear your opinion down below, okay? And if you like the video, or you thought it interesting, or even if you hate it, fuck it, give it a like, fuck it. Give me a subscribe. I appreciate yous, and I'll see yous next time. Catch you later, lads.